you guys both successful, very successful in your careers. Jamal, I gotta zero in on something here for you, and this goes for you as well, Priest. 2000, you guys win a Super Bowl, right? But there's a long journey before you get there. At what point during that season did you guys know you had something special?
Well, yeah, I think Jamal, I think you definitely can lead this off, man. Just one thing I think that as far as what we knew was special is that I knew on first and second down, Jamal was going to definitely run the ball. I think in our division, especially in 97 when I got there, it was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And it was just based on having a big back. When Jamal entered the scene and I saw that he ran behind his pad level, had very explosive, quick feet. He had the ability to get in a cut, out of a cut, and he's 235. I said, okay, he definitely got something. So I think it was just a matter of just us trying to do the best that we could do. Jamal, what do you think, man, in terms of what Mark had just said?
I think that honestly, starting that season out, we went in and I think we was gelling as an offense, but then all of a sudden you get the quarterback change. You get the quarterback change or whatever with Dilfer, and we still I think was trying to find ourselves as an offense. Defense, I think we kind of knew what we had, but we needed to be able to supplement that to some kind of way. But I can remember, and I can't remember when we we played the Dolphins, and it was just crazy rain, whatever. And I got a few carries or whatever, and I think I got some good breaks. And I remember coming back to the locker room that next day, and you were there, and you came up to me, and you was just like, "Hey, it's yours." You was like, "It's yours. I'm here to do whatever you need me to do, or whatever, and support you, whatever." And I'm like, well, I'm not really like, what is he talking about? And he's like, it's your job. You got it. And when that happened, I kind of knew. I was like, we got something, and I think with what we did together was, even though I was that first, second down guy, you was gonna come in on third down and either run it or catch a pass or run a route or whatever. But you was a lot better blocker than I was too. But at the same time, it was like we had something. We had some chemistry. I knew that if I couldn't go in and make something shake, I knew I could say I could tap the hat, and then Priest could come in and do whatever need to be done and break one or soften up the defense or whatever. But once we had our room gelling right, and we knew what we could do running the football, period. We knew what we could do, especially with Sam Gash in front of us, and the defense clicked. But then also, Coach Billick actually said, "You know what? Okay, we finna put the ball in the running back's hands. We're gonna give you guys the ball, and we're gonna stop trying to throw it downfield and make miracles happen, and we're gonna adjust to what our personnel was." And when that happened and we just started winning and winning, I just really didn't see nobody beating us, just because of our backfield. And then at the same time, we had a good quarterback in Trent that could manage. He could manage the game. He could hit. He could throw the ball downfield if that's what we want to do. But that wasn't what we were built for. And luckily, we had an organization that understood that, and they really put it in our hands as a backfield and the defense. You talk about that defense a lot, but I think our backfield was just as comparable to that defense in running us to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Mark. Jamal, he kind of touched on the fact that first and second down was going to be his, definitely. I knew third down, I was either going to get yelled at, cussed at on Monday for not getting the third down or not
Sure.
picking up the right block.
No
but
pressure, no
I think
pressure.
just the chemistry that Jamal and I had, it was definitely there. He knew he could look to the sideline, and if he needed another set of eyes of what's going out on the field, he could look over and I would definitely give him that signal. But first and second down was definitely his. Third down, I would come in and do my best to make sure we get that third down pickup. But it was just that chemistry, I think, that spoke volumes about the backfield.
Well, look, that move on your part, I mean, that's a veteran move to come and say, hey, I'm going to walk over to him and say, this is yours.
Absolutely.
Take it. That's huge. That's not easy for anybody to do,
Well,
especially a pro athlete, right? This is your job too. But you had the foresight as a leader to say, hey, this is going to be what's best, and this is how we're going to get to where we need to go and ultimately win a Super Bowl, and that formula paid off. Yeah. And so I want to ask both of you, did you have a secret language? Like when Jamal's coming off the field, would he like whisper like 2 code words to you and about what was going on in the field? Like, did you guys have your own secret language? Like,
I think for me, Mark, it was just mainly for Jamal. It was always just look towards the sideline. And if I see that face mask veering toward the sideline, or if I see your jersey numbers pointing to the sideline, I knew maybe you were looking over there for some advice or detail of what's going on in the field. And then anytime he came off of the field, I was always in his ear to give him the version of what I can see from the sideline. Right. So I think that really kind of helped out versions. What do you think, Jamal? If you can remember back that far.
I think you're right, man. That's crazy. That's crazy you said that though. Just that eye contact, like. I don't know, like you didn't have to say much, but just by looking or just, nodding or just saying something, like it was like, this is what's going on, or stay patient, or just hang in there, this, that, and the other. It was just, I think that was the language more than anything else, but we're running backs, man, and it's crazy. Like, we're different. You know what I'm saying? We're different, but I think that with the chemistry we had and the way that we could go in and work it, that's why I wished we had more seasons. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it was a lot better for you, and you went on and just did and just wrecked shop or whatever, which was expected. But selfishly, I wish we could have played again together. Probably would have got a little more longevity as well, but at the same time, no, that was, I think the chemistry. You don't have to say much, when you got chemistry, and plus we met every Thursday, so we already knew what was what and and stick to the script. So it was all in film study and just knowing each other.
Now Jamal brought up the defense, right? We can't ignore that defense, legendary Baltimore. But for you both, what was it like going up against that defense in practice every day, and working against them? And because when you get familiar with your teammates, you kind of know their ins and outs, but still, I mean, would they lay some on you just to keep you in check, make sure, those defenses are going to be out there hunting you down?
Well, I think, Mark, when I think of 96 and the team coming back from Cleveland and now coming back to Baltimore, I think the team itself was unestablished. Mm-hmm. There was no set mystique about the team of what it would be or what it could be. But I know with them having that 26th pick and then getting Ray Lewis in 1996 and then a group of guys like myself coming in 1997, we had a chance to see that defense develop. So by the time Jamal came in 2000, we knew one thing for sure, that the defense could stop the offense, and could give us an opportunity. I don't know if you remember, Jamal, there were times where we would use the fourth down as an offensive weapon, to where we would use that punt to just kick the ball further down the field just so the defense could get them in a situation, get them on a short field, stop them, so that we would have even less field to be able to take to get to the end zone. Nice. So that was one of the things that I remember about that season as well, that we utilized the fourth down as an offensive weapon.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. It was real unique. It was real unique in how we how the coaches and everybody just kind of pulled it together so that we could get the win, with what we had to work with,
Yeah.
Well, there was good pedigree there, right? This Cleveland, obviously there was a little bit of a gap there, but the front office, I'm going to shout out Ozzie Newsome whenever I can. I got to shout that guy out. I mean, he really instilled it. It felt right out of the gate like something was special here, or something was brewing here, and they were just getting it right. Feel bad for those old Cleveland Browns fans. I might be one of them. But when you guys got that first Super Bowl, I was like, no, that was ours. But that's what was being built there, right? And it just happened to be in Baltimore. You guys finished that off. But you're on the field. It's the Super Bowl. You're there. You're at the pinnacle. I mean, walk us through that. Like, you guys work so hard. Did you guys do a running back separate hang before the Super Bowl and say, hey, let's get our minds right? This is what we got to do together. What did you guys do to prepare for that game?
I think that by the time that we were past that season and then going into the off season, not even off season, but the playoff time, it was one of those things that we had. I don't know if you remember, Jamal. Do you remember we had Banks at the quarterback starting off that season in 2000 before Difford took over?
Yes.
And there was a few times where the defense definitely bailed us out as an offense, but I think once Dilfer took over, I think that's where that chemistry, it connected. I think that was the piece that was missing. His attitude, him being a veteran, knowing that he would be the type of guy that you could literally smack him in the mouth, knock him down, and you knew as a quarterback, Dilfer was going to get back up.
Nice.
So I think, Jamal, what do you think about that season most that you remember about going into the playoffs?
Man, going to the playoffs, I like what you said about Dilfer. I remember when Dilfer came in the Redskins game, and Banks was real cool. He was just cool. Scat right. Break. And then, but Dilfer came in the game, and he was like, "Hey boys, let's go win this game." And I'm like, "Whoa, like what is this? This is the NFL quarterback that I'm used to seeing on TV, or something." But anyway, at the same time, it was just like going down that stretch. It was like, "Hey, this is what we got to do to win. We're going to run the football. We're gonna play good defense, and hey, Dilfer, make the right throws. Make the right throws. Hit Shannon Sharp, or if it's open, it's open, but don't make mistakes." And he was good at not making mistakes. And once we had that under control, it was like just go let loose, just let loose. We have our chest out. We walked around. It was Baltimore. Hey, look, be more careful, because we were like, it was like we stood behind that brand, and like, hey, we're gonna be some bullies, But hey, look, we was tough, like we talked about earlier. We had to go up against arguably the number one defense, in practice. And we had to hear them talk all the time. You had Ray, you had Peter, you had Siragusa, you Sam Adams, you had all these dudes, and that's all they did was talk, talk. So, we were built for it. We were built for a playoff run. We just need to finish. And I think when we got to the Super Bowl, I was just like, man, we here. Like, this is it. This is all business. Like, because we cannot leave here a loser, And I think we all had that attitude.
Holmes Stretch is exclusively brought to you by Bet365. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only. 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, select parishes in Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.